This is Amine, Benson High School, class of 2012, and you are now listening to KBPS Portland. Hey!
AM 1450 KBPS presents live PIL basketball. Now with all the action, let's go courtside with the KBPS sportscasting crew.
Hi everyone and good evening from Ida B. Wells High School in Southwest Portland. I am Sean Phillipson for AM 1450 KBPS in Portland. Joining me tonight, we have two fellow students in Morgan and Skylar. Ladies, thank you for joining me on the broadcast.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Looking at how these two teams have fared early on in their young campaign, the Benson Texters are 1-1, and the Ida B. Wells Guardians are undefeated going into tonight's game at 4-0. This is the first meeting of these two teams and the first PIL matchup between these two teams. So, ladies, what can we expect to see out of these two teams tonight?
Well, I know Wells seems like they have three freshmen on their team, and then looks like a whole bunch of seniors. So I'm excited to see the match between some young players and some more experienced players. And I know Benson. I know a lot of the girls have been playing with each other for a long time, club team as well, and just I know the program's really good, and I know it's going to be a tough matchup. And I know Benson played their one loss against Jesuit was a tough game. Jesuit is a tough opponent, so I'm excited to see how they play against a 4-0 Wells tonight.
Yeah, Benson is definitely a good competitor, even though they played number 3 Jesuit. They kept the score close with only losing 54-60, so I think today's matchup will be a good one.
Should be an interesting matchup between the two teams. Looking at the starting lineups first for the visiting Benson Texters, coached by Eric Knox. It will be a guard sophomore Mariana Hashimianor, a guard sophomore Olivia Hink, a guard junior Malaya Lesueur, a guard and forward a junior Anna Brown, and at forward Mahogany Chandler Roberts, who is a sophomore. Looking at the Ida B. Wells starting lineups for tonight's game, all seniors starting: Mia Fowler, Charlotte Richmond, Daphne Reed, Eve Hart, and Eliza DeJulio. Those are the starting lineups for the Ida B. Wells Guardians. Coach Knox, once again coaching this the most recent defending state champion team. They are young and talented, no doubt about that, but the Guardians bring a lot of that veteran leadership, as you ladies mentioned, with a lot of seniors, some underclassmen as well, to hopefully balance out the attack tonight for the Guardians. We're going to step aside for a timeout. When we come back, we'll reintroduce to you the starting lineups and the opening tip-off from Ida B. Wells High School. It's the Guardians and the Texters next on AM 1450 KBPS in Portland. National anthem being played here at Ida B. Wells High School. Welcome back. Guardians and Texters about to tip off momentarily. And now let's get into the lineups once again. First for the Benson Texters, Mariana Hashimianor, Olivia Hink, Malaya Lesueur, Anna Brown, and Mahogany Chandler Roberts, excuse me. For the Ida B. Wells starters, it'll be Mia Fowler, Charlotte Richmond, Daphne Reed, Eve Hart, and Eliza DeJulio. Those are the starting lineups for Ida B. Wells. Kevin Flink is the public address announcer with the announcements for Ida B. Wells. Should be a great matchup, ladies, tonight, as you mentioned in the open. Morgan and Skylar on hand with me tonight.
Number 25, Daphne Reed. Number 30, Eve Hart.
Looking at these two teams overall during the year, Benson has only played in 2 games. They're coming off their most recent win at Camas in Washington against the Papermakers, winning 60-52. And we had the broadcast last Tuesday from Marshall campus at Benson High School, where Jesuit defeated the Texters 60-54. And looking at Ida B. Wells, they're 4-0, off to a great start. They have won 3 out of their first games at home. 3 out of their last 4 games at home, winning 60-33 versus Sandy, 46-29 against Sherwood, 61-13 against Gresham, and defeating Newburgh 38-24 on the road in their most recent game last Friday. So they have 7 days off of rest. We'll see if there will be any rust for the Guardians tonight. It'll be Eve Hart and Mahogany Chandler Roberts jumping it up. Benson wins the opening tip. Underway from I.W. Wells High School. It is Hashimi Anor at the point. She will drive, lost the ball, got it back and laid up and in. Hashimi Anor with her first field goal for the Texters. It's 2-0 Benson with 7:40 remaining in the first quarter. Benson playing full court press in the back court, and the I.W. Wells Guardians get it across the front court. Richmond, left wing Fowler. Fowler now comes up between the rings, right wing Richmond. Richmond's had a terrific career as a member of the I.W. Wells Guardians. She would love to finish her season strong in her senior campaign. Fowler with it between the rings, passes right over to Reed. Reed back to Fowler between the rings. Lob it inside, steal by Hashimi Anor. Hashimi Anor, no numbers on the break, and she turns the ball over. Great steal by Eve Hart. Up the floor is Richmond. Richmond will slow things down for the Guardians, coached by Anthony Leveritz. Fowler with it, going right to left on your radio dial in the home white and green uniform with the green lettering and gray trim, out of bounds on the pass from Richmond, and the Texters will get the ball back.
Yeah, back-to-back turnovers by Mia. I guess suspensive pressure is really getting to her. Let's see if she can calm down and fix it the next play.
6:45 remaining first quarter, 2-0 lead, Benson. LeSueur over to Hashimi Anor, her pass deflected off of Chandler Roberts, and a turnover on the Texas the other way. Guardians ball. Benson with a full court press in the backcourt as they go left to right to begin the first quarter of play. Richmond brings the ball to the timeline, guarded by LeSueur. Richmond handling it with her left hand, passes in the post to DeGiulio. DeGiulio pump fakes, goes in with the lefty layup, good. Eliza DeGiulio, her first field goal of the quarter, and we are tied at 2. 6:15 remaining first quarter, out of bounds. It will remain Benson ball. Deflected by one of the Guardians in the post. Inbounds, got it in play to Hashimi Anor. Left corner, Hink, a 3. That's not even close to the rim. Defensive rebound, Richmond. Richmond bringing the ball up the court, guarded tightly by Hink, bodying up on her, and gets it across to Hart. Hart over to DeGiulio near the midcourt line. DeGiulio, right-left crossover, passes for Hart on the left baseline near side. Hart over to Richmond. Richmond between the rings, holding it up. The Guardians not in a rush to shoot the ball. Recovery by Hart. She picks it up, throws it up, no good off the left side of the rim. Rebound by the Texters. Up the floor is LeSueur. Her pass was lost and recovered by Hashimi Anor. Hashimi Anor driving to the paint, no good. From the left side of the rim, rebound by Hart. Hart stopped her dribble. Nearly got called for a travel. It's DeGiulio with it between the rings now. Off the screen goes Richmond. She gets it. Richmond on the far side. Gets off a pick from DeGiulio. Over to Hart now, left wing. 5:14 remaining first quarter. We are tied at 2. Off the screen, Fowler goes. She floats one up from the foul line. No good. Defensive rebound by Chandler Roberts. Chandler Roberts listed at 6'2" in that forward position. She has that height advantage in the post. Hashimi Anor, standing dribble, guarded by Richmond. That'll be a good matchup to look after tonight, ladies. The inside layup bounces out for Chandler Roberts. Defensive rebound for Richmond as she brings up the timeline. Richmond hands it off to Hart. Hart over for Fowler. Now back to Richmond on the left wing. Between the rings, Reed. Texas playing very tight man-to-man defense. Inside is Hart. She is fouled, and she will shoot 2. And the foul on Anna Brown. That'll be her first team foul of either team in the quarter. And Eve Hart will head to the line and shoot a couple, and the free throw is through for her. with one more from the line.
In for the Guardians, number 51, Autumn Hart.
Autumn Hart checking into the game for her first appearance for Mia Fowler. And the second free throw goes for Eve Hart, as the Guardians have a 2-point lead at 4-2, 4:27 remaining in the first quarter. Hink off the pick. Passes for Brown. Over for Hashimi Anor. Chandler Roberts on the right wing. She gets the pass back in the post. Turning, spinning, jumper, no good. Good contest inside by the Guardians, but an offensive rebound collected and scored home by Anna Brown, her first field goal for Benson. And we are tied at 4 with 4 minutes exactly remaining in the first quarter. Guardians get into the front court to Hart. Hart over for Eve Hart, who lays it up and in. Eve Hart with her first field goal, 4 points for her, and the Guardians back in front. A blocking foul is called inside.
Foul's number 22, Charlotte Richmond.
Charlotte Richmond on the foul, that is her first. As she made the field goal, but I don't know if the officials caught that in time. Eric Knox is motioning to the official. She made the basket. And the basket does count for Anna Brown. As the ball went through on the blocking foul for Anna Brown. Richmond again on that personal, her first. And Brown on the three-point play opportunity. Missed it. Defensive rebound for Eve Hart. Up the floor is Autumn Hart. Hands it off to DeJulio. DeJulio, good passer in the post as well for the Guardians. Richmond trapped. Lost the ball. It was deflected and recovered by Richmond. She had to look at the three, didn't take it. Ball moved on the left wing is Eve Hart. Passes for Autumn Hart. Autumn Hart gets off the pick from Eve Hart. 5 count is on for DeJulio and got it away to DeJulio from Autumn Hart. DeJulio with it between the rings now. Guardians taking their time with the basketball. 3:05 remaining first quarter. They get it into Hart. Feeds it inside to Autumn Hart and lays it up and in. Eve Hart on the assist. 8-6 lead. Guardians over the Texters.
That was a little sister-to-sister magic there from Eve to Autumn. Love to see it.
Chandler Roberts in the post, kicks it out to LeSueur. LeSueur backing it up. At the scorer's table for Benson, Oriah Boyd will check in next dead ball. In the Chandler Roberts in the post at the foul line. Hands it off to Hink. Will pull up from 17 feet from the foul line. No good. Defensive rebound by DeJulio. 2:25 remaining first quarter. Guardians 8, Benson 6. We're going to foul on Benson.
Foul number 30, Eve Hart.
I beg your pardon, an offensive foul on Eve Hart for an illegal screen. That it will be her first personal. And Oriah Boyd on the floor now for Benson before that happens.
In for the Texters, number 24, Oriah Boyd.
Whistle sounding, probably to reset everything on the court. And Boyd gets it in play to Hink. 2:18 remaining first quarter, 8-6 lead. Guardians pass too high for Hink and a turnover on Benson. Benson in the road black uniforms, not usually the traditional blue and orange that they normally would wear, as they have the black lettering and white trim on the sides. Into Richmond. Richmond handling it at the point. Richmond still with it. Gives it for DeJulio between the rings. DeJulio back to Richmond. Richmond gets off the screen from DeJulio. Guarded by LeSueur. LeSueur doesn't have any fouls in the quarter. Nice pass from DeJulio to Richmond. Threw it too high off the rim. Rebound for LeSueur. LeSueur pulls the ball back out. Waiting for help. 5 count is on. Got it inside and a steal by Autumn Hart. Autumn Hart gets it to Eve Hart. Over for Reed. Reed, timeout, IW Wells. This will be a 30-second timeout for the Guardians. Will step aside with 1:20 remaining first quarter. 8-6 lead, IW Wells over Benson on KBPS. 1:20 remaining, first quarter of play. IW Wells leading 8-6 over Benson. First meeting of these two teams this year. These two will meet later on at Marshall, February 1st of 2022 for the final matchup between these two teams. During league play, these PIL teams usually will meet at least twice a season. Inbounds for Eve Hart, gets it in to Richmond. Richmond doesn't have a field goal yet in the quarter. Passes for Reed. Reed between the rings, passes for Hart, left wing. Richmond a three, good on cue. Charlotte Richmond buries her first from long range tonight. And an 11-6 lead for IW Wells. Back at the other end, the layup is good for Malaya Lesueur as she cashes home her first field goal. 11-8 lead for IW Wells. A pass intercepted in the paint, stolen away by Lesueur. Up the floor, Hashimi Anor. Hashimi Anor will drive, kick it out for Hink. Hink over for Boyd, who's on the floor off the bench for the first time tonight for Benson. Over for Lesueur, slowing things down. 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. Boyd slips. Jumper from 18, no good from the right elbow for Chandler Roberts. It was a good contest, but missed it. Richmond brings the ball up the other way for the Guardians on the defensive rebound. 21 seconds to go in the first quarter. Eve Hart holding it up. Passes for DeJulio. Inside, layup good by Eve Hart. Eve Hart with 6 in the first quarter and a 5-point lead for IW Wells at 13-8. 5 seconds left for the quarter. Chandler Roberts pump fakes, misses the shot around and out, got her own miss and scores at the buzzer. And that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. IW Wells 13, Benson Texters 10. Second quarter coming up next on KBPS. 13-10. IW Wells leading it over Benson. Second quarter about to begin. Sean Phillipson alongside Morgan and Skyler. And ladies, what did you see in the first quarter for both teams?
Well, I saw a lot of pressure from Benson, tiring out point guard Richmond. She's going to have a tough night tonight. And I know Benson's trying to keep her from getting hot. I know she can pull up from anywhere. She's a really good three-point shooter, and I think Benson's trying to keep her cool tonight.
Yeah, I noticed senior Eve Hart from Wells really leading them in points.
Yes, Eve Hart leading with 6 in the first quarter. And a pass recovered by the Guardians as Autumn Hart gets it over for DeJulio between the rings. DeJulio driving right, pulls it back out, going left, back to Autumn Hart. Hart over for Richmond. Richmond pulls the ball back out near midcourt and gets it across right wing to Autumn Hart. Hart with it. Hart back to Richmond. Guardians, as I mentioned in the first quarter, they have not been in a rush to shoot the basketball. They're playing half-court offense. And a turnover on Richmond. She passed it right into the far side of Reed and couldn't make the play.
Yeah, this Benson pressure seems to be getting to the Wells. Coach trying to tell them to move the ball, but there's just a lot of deny, and Wells can't seem to get the ball around.
13-10 Guardians lead. 1 minute gone in the first half of play. Hashimi Anor lost the dribble and a steal by DeJulio. Richmond will slow things down for IW Wells. Off this pick goes Richmond. Richmond over for Fowler. Fowler hasn't had many touches in the first quarter. A long three-pointer, no good by Richmond from the right wing. Defensive rebound pulled down by Chandler Roberts. Roberts hands it off to Lesueur between the rings. Lesueur gets off the screen from Anna Brown, who's back on the floor for Benson. Coach Knox's philosophy, ladies, try not to foul on defense and reach in. Lob it inside to Chandler Roberts, and she scores inside. Chandler Roberts, her second field goal, and trims the lead down to 1 for IW Wells. It's 13-12. Guardians over the Texters. 6:14 remaining first half. DeJulio, shot denied by Chandler Roberts and out of bounds. Benson ball. Eve Hart will check into the game for the Guardians. Hink brings the ball up the timeline. Benson led as many as 2 in the first quarter. The Guardians led as many as 5. Three-pointer well off the mark by Chandler Roberts. Out of bounds off of the Guardians. It will remain Benson ball. Hashimi Noor to inbound underneath their own basket, going left to right, got it into Chandler Roberts. Chandler Roberts going left side, no good on the layup. She was looking for a foul, did not get one. Eve Hart pulls down the defensive rebound. Over for Fowler. Fowler over to DeJulio between the rings. Passes left over to Hart, left wing. Eve Hart over for DeJulio. Over to Richmond, right wing, far side. DeJulio between the rings gets the pass. 5:35 remaining first half of play, and DeJulio nearly threw it out of bounds to Richmond as he was able to keep possession of it. Hart with it, going left side, got away from the defender, lays it up. No, but a foul is called on Olivia Hink. That'll be her first personal for Benson.
Her first, second team foul.
Yeah, Eve seems like a really tough player. When nothing's coming out of the offense, she's going to be the one to rip by a defender and take to the hoop.
Eve Hart at the line, and she makes the first foul shot. Eve Hart leading the team in scoring with 7, with 1 more from the line. And that increases the lead for the Guardians at 14-12. The second free throw is good for Eve Hart. She has 8. 15-12 lead for Ida B. Wells over Benson. Chandler Roberts on the left wing. Passes for Brown. Good ball movement by the Texters on the floor. Lasua can't handle it. And a steal by Hart. It will be Guardians ball after it was last touched by Benson. Hart gets it in play to Richmond. 5:05 remaining in the second quarter. 15-12 lead for Ida B. Wells. Off the screen goes Fowler. Ball tipped away and stolen by Hashimi Noor. And Hashimi Noor will lay it in with the left hand. And it's 15-14. Ida B. Wells by 1. And a steal in the backcourt by Hashimi Noor. And out of bounds, it will belong back to the Guardians. Great defense by Hashimi Noor in the backcourt with that energy. Poking it loose. Inbounds for DeJulio. DeJulio brings the ball up the timeline now, gets it to Richmond. Richmond breaks free of the press from Benson. 4:33 remaining first half, 15-14. Guardians lead. Richmond denies the pick from Fowler. Texters into his own D. Three-pointer for Richmond is good. Richmond with 6, 18-14 lead for the Guardians. 4:14 left in the first half.
Yeah, and that's what she'll do. If you leave her any bit of space, she's going to pull it.
Texas went into his zone and left her open with good space. Anna Brown on the kick out. Hashimi Noor to answer for 3. Buries it. Hashimi Noor with 7. And we have a timeout on the floor for Benson. The only question is it going to go full or 30? This will be a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here for the moment. But Skylar and Morgan, what can you say about this game so far in the second quarter?
Well, it looks like Hashimi Noor is kind of disrupting Wells, not letting them set any of their offense up, not even letting them get across half court to do anything. But
Yeah, both teams also seem to be really stepping on defense, seem to be communicating well and passing players on in order to get some steals and turnovers.
Ida B. Wells has led as many as 5 in the first half. Benson has led as many as 2. And it'll be Ida B. Wells to inbound the ball following the 30-second timeout for Benson. And the inbounds collected by DeJulio from Eve Hart. DeJulio brings up the timeline behind the back dribble against Chandler Roberts. DeJulio gets it into Hart. Hart near midcourt. Hart right to left crossover, driving left side, pulls up with the jumper. She thought she was fouled, and she is fouled. Benson's coaching staff wanted to travel. Foul on Olivia Hink. That's her second personal, and the third team foul on Benson. And Eve Hart back at the line to shoot 2. She has 8 points for Ida B. Wells as the first free throw is no good. Back on the floor for Ida B. Wells will be Autumn Hart. And Autumn Hart will come in for Mia Fowler. Second free throw, rounded home for Eve Hart. 1 of 2. She has 9 in the first half. And a 19-17 lead for Ida B. Wells. Off the screen, Hink goes left. Kicks it out. Hashimi and Orr 3 to respond. No good. Defensive rebound. Guardians Hart. That's Eve Hart on the break. Lays it up. Around and in. And a foul. Eve Hart with 11. A chance to make it 12 on a 3-point possibility.
Eve Hart really on a roll here. She really seems to be leading for Wells with most of their points.
The basket is good.
Yeah, I think Benson's game plan was to shut down Charlotte, but it looks like they should have paid more attention to Hart as well.
Anna Brown picks up her second personal. 3-point play, no good for Eve Hart. Rebound for Chandler Roberts. Up the floor, Hashimi and Orr. It's Ida B. Wells 21, Benson 17. 3:10 remaining first half of play. Chandler Roberts over to the right wing with Lesueur. Lesueur gets off the screen from Chandler Roberts. Brings it over for Brown, left wing. Brown over to the left baseline is Hink. Hink scoreless in her starters minutes tonight. Hink over for Brown. A Guardians player fell down. That was Autumn Hart. She got up just fine. Over for Chandler Roberts. Off the screen, Lesueur. Passes in the post to Chandler Roberts. Benson not in any hurry to shoot on their own right. Over for Hashimi and Orr. Dumps it inside to Chandler Roberts, and she scores in the post. Hashimi and Orr on the assist. It's 21-19. Ida B. Wells lead. Richmond gets it across the timeline to Reed. Reed over to DeJulio. Left wing Hart. And top of the arc is Richmond, handling it with a standing dribble. Passes for Autumn Hart on the left wing. Back to Daphne Reed. Back to Autumn Hart. 2:05 remaining in the first half of play. Ball tipped. And it will be Ida B. Wells basketball. Great defense again by Hashimi and Orr, poking that ball loose. Looking for the steal.
It seems like both teams are taking off their pressure a little bit, but Hashimi and Orr still has her hands in the passing lanes and still going to be aggressive.
Referee checking on Eve Hart to make sure there's no earrings or anything on. As I believe in high school athletics, you cannot wear jewelry of any kind in basketball. Actually, she does have some piercing in her ear, and she takes it off and dumps it at the scores table. Inbounds, deflected by Chandler Roberts, and a steal. Chandler Roberts all the way to the basket, misses the layup and close. She was contested, though, by DeJulio getting back defensively. Guardians back the other way. Richmond over for Autumn Hart. Back to Richmond. A long three-pointer. No good from the right wing. Rebound tipped up in the air, claimed by Chandler Roberts. 1:35 remaining for play. Hink dumps it into the left block. Is Chandler Roberts turning jumper. Good. Chandler Roberts with 8 for Benson. And we are all tied up at 21 all. 1:21 remaining first half of play. Richmond brings up the timeline. Passes for Reed. Reed guarded by Hink. Hands it off to Autumn Hart. Autumn Hart pulls the ball back out. Going to her right. Cuts back left side. And a 5-second violation on the Guardians. It will be Benson ball.
Yeah, this Benson defense seems to really be disrupting Wells' offense. Not being able to get it to their star point guard, Richmond, seems to be causing a little bit of trouble for them.
Richmond with 6 for the Guardians. Eve Hart leading the team and scoring with 11 in the first half. Hashimi and Orr dumps it in the foul line to Chandler Roberts. She's got to be careful to stay out of the key for 3 seconds. Hashimi and Orr gets the pass over for Hink between the rings. Now over to Lesueur, right wing. 42 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Texas are likely to play for the final shot. Out of bounds. Lesueur couldn't handle it. Turnover, Benson.
Knox seems to be upset with that one. Probably trying to hold it for the rest of the half, but just a silly turnover, as well as another opportunity to score.
Richmond gets the inbounds pass from Eve Hart. Richmond guarded tightly by LeSueur. Benson has 14 fouls, so they have a couple more to give if they elect to do so. In the lane, denied on the block shot by Chandler Roberts, so the foul is called. They'll give the foul for Anna Brown. That will be her third. And the 15 foul. Eve Hart back at the line to shoot 2 free throws with 23.5 seconds to go. Ovia Boyd at the scorer's table, still checking after the first foul shot. Not yet. Eve Hart does make the first free throw. She has 12. And now Oriah Boyd will come on the floor for Anna Brown. Olivia Hink has 2 personal fouls herself in the first half. And that breaks the tie. Free throw is good. 23-21. Ida Wells lead. 13 for Hart in the first half. Benson can hold for the final shot if they elect to do so. Boyd off the bench looking for help. Bumped. Gets it in the post to Chandler Roberts. She throws it up. No good from the left block. May have rushed it a little bit. Guardians with it the other way with 5 seconds left. It's Richmond with 2. Richmond with a clear path to the basket. No good at the buzzer. And that will take us to halftime with the score. Ida Wells Guardians 23 and the Benson Texters 21. Halftime show coming up next on AM 1450 KBPS in Portland. Welcome back to Ida Wells High School in Southwest Portland. The Ida Wells Guardians lead the Benson Texters a score of 23-21. Sean Phillips alongside Morgan and Skylar for AM 1450 KBPS and live streaming on the web on www.kbps.am. Ladies, what can you say about the first half of play between these two teams? We'll start with you, Morgan.
Well, obviously we saw a lot of physicality out there. Benson just super aggressive on defense, not letting a lot of passes go through, and getting some 5-second calls at the end. I think that's what they wanted. But Wells at the end there, they kind of showed that they're physical too. They can match their defensive end, and I think Eve Hart really took control and showed them that they can still play even if they're going to deny Charlotte, and they just showed that they can match their aggressiveness and match the tone.
Yeah, I think the score is a clear indicator that this is going to be a close game, but the performance as well. Both teams seem to be playing good offense and good defense especially. I noticed towards the end of the half that Benson seemed to be pressing Eve Hart pretty hard with putting multiple players on her, and I think that'd be a good strategy for Benson.
It is the half-court shot.
Well, let's get into the scoring output for both teams right now. Let's start with the Texters. Hashimi Anor for the Texters had 7 points. Chandler Roberts with 8 in her starting role tonight. Anna Brown with 4 and Malaya LeSueur with 2 points. For Ida Wells Guardians, Eve Hart with a game high, leading all scorers with 13 points. Charlotte Richmond with 6. DeJulio and Autumn Hart has 2 points each for Ida Wells. The Guardians have let as many as 5 in the first half. And for the Texans, they've let as many as 2 in the first half of play. We'll step aside as our halftime show continues from Ida Wells High School. Guardians 23, Texters 21 on KBPS. Ida Wells Guardians lead 23-21 over the Benson Texters. Other games within the PIL tonight in girls action, there's only one being played. It is Jefferson at Cleveland. And Jefferson's off to a good start this year. They are 2-1. The Cleveland Warriors are 3-1 overall. And this is their first matchup of the season. Ladies, second half thoughts as halftime continuing. What are your keys to victory on both ends? We'll start with you, Skylar.
I feel like both teams are going to be coming out pretty strong. I think Benson especially is going to be strong on defense. I predict that they're going to have a high press, especially on Wells stronger players. And yeah, I think on Wells' end, I think that they'll continue to be strong on offense and defense, but I really think that Benson is going to come out strong on that defensive end.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely going to be a lot of pressure, so I think the key to success is just whoever's going to handle the pressure better, be able to run their offense, and be able to get steals, finish in transition, and yeah, just whoever the more physical team is, I think is going to win this.
Well, we'll have to see how things go in the second half. I expect Chandler Roberts to have a productive second half, leading the team in scoring with 8. But Hashim Yunor not that far back. Those two have a great two-person game, and we'll see if they both can continue their camaraderie going into the second half. I expect Richmond to have a terrific second half as well as Eve Hart. But Richmond's been mainly the prime scorer for Ida B. Wells throughout her Ida B. Wells career for the Guardians. So we'll see if that will continue going into the second half. We don't know what our schedule will look like for the start of the 2022 year, but do stay up to date on www.kbps.am for further details for when our next broadcast will happen. This is the last broadcast for the 2021 year, and it has certainly have not disappointed many of us here tonight, and you, our beloved listeners, tuning in not only on the radio but also on the web on www.kbps.am. This will conclude our halftime show from Ida B. Wells High School. We will be back with the second half action. It's Ida B. Wells 23, the Benson Texers 21. You are listening to live high school basketball action on AM 1450 KBPS in Portland. Ida B. Wells leading it over Benson 23-21 as the second half about to begin in Southwest Portland. Again, this is the first meeting of these two teams. You heard a little bit ago during the halftime show that a male student for Ida B. Wells made a half-court shot to earn himself a sweater and a beanie hat for his effort tonight. Always fun to see some halftime entertainment for the students here. But now back to the game, as it will be Benson to inbound to begin quarter number 3, down by 2. Ida B. Wells led as many as 5 in that first half. We'll see if that trend will continue. Fowler falls down, gets it over for Chandler Roberts. Chandler Roberts over for Hashim Yunor. Hashim Yunor gives it to Chandler Roberts with the scoop layup, left side of the rim, and scores it. Chandler Roberts with 10 for Benson, and we are tied at 23 all. 7:35 remaining in the third quarter. And an offensive foul at the other end on Mia Fowler. She charged right into Hashim Yunor.
Yeah, it seems like it's been a tough night for Fowler. Let's see if she can bring it down a little bit and play some good defense, get it stop, and get right back at Benson here.
Hink gets the inbounds pass and brings up the timeline. 7:30 remaining third quarter. Tie game at 23 apiece. Chandler Roberts over for Hashim Yunor. Hashim Yunor over for Brown. Brown playing with 3 fouls, by the way, so she's got to be careful not to pick up a fourth. And a foul inside as Chandler Roberts took it at the chest of Eliza DeJulio. And DeJulio will get credited with the foul. That is her first.
44, Eliza DeJulio, her first, second team foul.
Team second on the Guardians. 2 free throws coming for Chandler Roberts. And the first free throw for Roberts is around and in.
Chandler Roberts shooting 2.
With one more at the line to shoot. Eric Knox talking to Malaya Lesueur on the strategy. Second free throw is good for Chandler Roberts. She has 12, leading all scorers for Benson. And we have a foul on the inbounds pass on Olivia Hink.
They're really putting a lot of pressure on Richmond here, making it tough to get the inbound scores and having to go to some other guards or maybe even their post.
Third foul on Olivia Hink. Both Brown and Hink with 3 fouls each. Inbounds tipped and stolen by Benson. Great defense by Hink. A 3 for the lead for Benson is no good. They are actually leading by 2 at 25-23. Up the floor is Fowler for the Guardians. 7:05 remaining in the third quarter. Fowler gets it into DeJulio over on the between the rings. Now over left wing to Eve Hart. Hart has the height advantage against LeSueur. Gives it to DeJulio on the inside. Shot blocked by Chandler Roberts. A clean block. It will remain Guardians ball.
Yeah, Chandler Roberts says no way. Making it hard for Wellesley to score under the basket.
Inbounds pass deflected up in the air. Guardians get it. Great recovery by Richmond underneath on the near side. Richmond tries to break down Hink. Hink is still on her feet. DeJulio, a great pass to Eve Hart, and she scores. Eve Hart with 15. We are tied at 25 all. 6.5 remaining third quarter of play. Hink over for Chandler Roberts. Roberts going right. Stopped her dribble, looking for help. Gets it out to LeSueur. LeSueur with 2 points tonight for Benson. LeSueur gets it into Chandler Roberts. Roberts on the left block. Now at the foul line. Over for Hink. Now to LeSueur. LeSueur threw a pass too far. And out of bounds it will be Guardians ball with 6:03 remaining in quarter number 3.
Yeah, that was some great court vision by DeJulio, getting that dime to Eve for the finish.
Richmond will inbound up on the far sideline and gets it into DeJulio. DeJulio handoff off the screen goes Richmond. Richmond on the right ring, now between the rings, gets off a pick from Hart. DeJulio with a standing dribble, lefty dribble, lost her hand and got it into Hart. Puts up the runner, no good. Hart got her own offensive rebound, new possession for the Guardians. Hart gets it back from Fowler. Hart up on the left wing, pulls it out between the rings. Hart, right wing, Richmond. Richmond guarded by Hink with 3 fouls. She's got to be careful, does Hink. 5:25 remaining third quarter, tie game at 25 all. Fowler over for DeJulio, right quarter now, over to the right baseline near side. DeJulio lost the dribble. Benson steals. Great steal by Chandler Roberts. Chandler Roberts to the basket, lays it in, and the Texans have the lead back at 27-25. Timeout call for Benson. Only question is, what will they call? This will be a full timeout. We'll take the break with them. 5:08 remaining third quarter. Benson 27, IW Wells 25 on KBPS. Alea LeSueur was getting checked out during the timeout on her right leg. And she is on the bench right now for Benson, as Lulu Kennebrew will check in for her first appearance of the night for Benson, as the Guardians trailing by 2, 27-25, 5:05 remaining, clock running, third quarter. DeJulio gets it into the front court, guarded by Chandler Roberts with the long arms, wingspan, and a pass out of bounds. It will be Benson ball. Great defense by Chandler Roberts to affect the pass.
Yeah, that's some great handles by the big DeJulio, but even better defense.
Hink bringing it up for Benson. 4:50 remaining third quarter. Hink passes for Brown. Brown over to Kennebrew. Kennebrew off the pick. Gives it for Chandler Roberts. Quick ball movement by the Texters. Hashimi Noor lobs it inside to Chandler Roberts, and she lays it in. Chandler Roberts now with 16 points tonight for Benson, and a 4-point lead for the Texters, their largest of the ball game. They previously led as many as 2 in the opening quarter. DeJulio. Dribble handoff looking for Richmond. She gets it. Richmond driving left, hard to the basket, underneath the paint, lays it up, no good. Rebound tapped back by DeJulio. Over for Reed. Richmond, another attempt to the basket, off her leg, turnover, IW Wells. .410 remaining third quarter, 29-25, Benson lead. This is the third game of the year for the Texters, and the 5th game overall for the IW Wells Guardians going into tonight's game. Hashimi Inor between the rings, lobs it inside for Chandler Roberts. She catches it, shot blocked underneath by Eve Hart and controlled by Richmond. Richmond in the front court, 3:44 remaining third quarter. Richmond off the screen, passes for DiGiulio. DiGiulio finds Richmond, not about the three, gives it for Reed on the right corner, back to Richmond. 3:33 remaining third quarter, 29-25, Benson lead. DiGiulio handling it right now, gives it for Hart, lost the dribble, got it back, does Hart. And a timeout, Ida B. Wells. It'll be a full timeout for the Guardians. We'll take it with them. 3:22 left third quarter. Benson leads Ida B. Wells 29-25 on KBPS.
This is the home of live PIL sports action. AM 1450, KBPS, Portland.
DiGiulio inbounds, and we got a foul on the inbounds pass. If that's on Hink, that will be her fourth.
Fouls on number 10, Olivia Hink.
And that is her fourth.
Second team foul.
And back on the floor for Benson is Malaya Lesueur, trying to shake off the cobwebs following the timeout after being looked at from Dexter Lesueur. Inbounds, DiGiulio gets it in before 5. Loose ball, stolen by Hashimi Inor, and she lays it in. Hashimi Inor now with 9 and a 6-point lead for the Texans. It's 31-25. Benson. Richmond gets it into the front court, guarded tightly by Lesueur, and a reach-in foul will be committed on Malaya Lesueur.
Number 11,
That will be her first of the game.
third team foul.
Third team foul on Benson. Ida B. Wells with 2. Inbounds for DiGiulio. Looking, trying to get it in, and does to Reed. Reed pulls it out. Now between the rings, lost the dribble, got it back. And finds it to Richmond. Pretty good ball handler for the Guardians. Gives it for DiGiulio between the rings, guarded by Chandler Roberts. Back for Richmond. Richmond's been quiet so far in the third quarter. She has not looked for her shot, and a steal by Hashimi Inor. Turnover on Richmond. Hashimi Inor's pass stolen away by Reed. Up the floor is Autumn Hart. Hart finds DiGiulio to the basket. No good on the layup attempt. Rebound for Brown. 2-on-2 break. Whistle sounding.
Timeout Benson.
And timeout Benson. They have 2 fulls and a 30 left. So does Ida B. Wells. This will be a full timeout with 2:25 remaining in the third quarter. It's Benson 31, Ida B. Wells 25 on KBPS. 2:25 remaining in quarter number 3. Benson 31, Ida B. Wells 25, alongside Morgan and Skyler. Sean Phillips on hand. Inbounds for Benson underneath their own basket, going right to left. Inbounds for Lesueur, and Lesueur will pull it out. Lesueur on the right wing. Lesueur gives it for Kenny Brew between the rings. Kenny Brew hands it off for Hashimi Inor. Hashimi Inor to Kenny Brew. 2:10 remaining in the third quarter of play. Over for Brown. Brown off the pick. As is Hashimi Inor. Now over for Chandler Roberts. Chandler Roberts driving right. Hard to the hole. Missed the layup and close. Great defense by Eve Hart. Autumn Hart with the ball the other way. Looking for someone to give it to. 10 count is engaged. And Richmond just got it past the midcourt line. Richmond off the screen from Hart. Turns it over. Eve Hart couldn't handle the pass. The steal by Hashimi Inor. Hashimi Inor drives. No good on the layup attempt, but she is fouled. And Hashimi Inor will head to the line to shoot 2.
Hashimi Inor has been on a roll this whole entire game, offensively and defensively. Let's see if she can keep it up in the fourth quarter.
Liza DiGiulio on the foul for the Guardians. That is her second foul, excuse me. And at the line will be Hashimi Inor to shoot 2. She has 9 tonight for the Texters. Free throw is through with 1 more at the line for Benson. Second free throw for Hashimi Inor, no good. Rebound by Eve Hart. 32-25 Benson, a 7-point lead with 90 seconds to go in quarter number 3. Richmond lobs it for DiGiulio. DiGiulio on the left block, kicks it back out to Richmond playing a 2-man game. DiGiulio, it's Richmond a long 3-pointer, that's no good. Defensive rebound by LeSueur. LeSueur on the break, kicks it out for Brown. Thought about the 3, but Benson will reset with Hashimianor handling it at the point. Hashimianor handoff for Kennebrew. Now to the right wing, Brown. Under a minute to go in the quarter. LeSueur banks it in from 18 feet on the right elbow. What a shot by LeSueur. She has 4, and the lead grows for the Texters at 9. It's 34-25. Benson. And a reach-in foul committed on Mahogany Chandler Roberts as DiGiulio was bringing the ball up the court.
Number 33, Mahogany Chandler Roberts, her first court.
Yeah, Benson making it really tough for Wells to bring the ball up, denying their main point guard Richmond and making the big pull it up.
Oriah Boyd enters the game. The coaching staff for Benson was fuming on that reach-in call on Chandler Roberts. They thought they made a good steal out of it. 35 seconds to go in the quarter. DiGiulio handling it between the rings. Now over to Hart. Hart spinning. Will pull up with a runner. Short. Got her own miss, does Eve Hart. New possession for the Guardians with 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Richmond gets off the screen. Richmond pulls the ball back out. DiGiulio handling it. Both teams dive on the floor, and a foul is called. Oriah Boyd slow to get up.
Fouls on 44, Eliza DiGiulio.
And DiGiulio gets caught with the foul, her third. And both teams now with 14 fouls.
Returning for Wells, number 12, Mia Fowler.
Mia Fowler back on the floor for Ida B. Wells. DiGiulio will head out of the game for the moment. With 10.7 to go in the quarter, Benson by 9. 34-25, 8 seconds left for Hashimianor. Hashimianor to Boyd on the floor. Over for LeSueur, left corner with 2. Benson not aware of the time as Hashimianor shoots a 3, and that's no good. That will take us to the end of quarter number 3. Benson 34, Ida B. Wells 25. Fourth quarter coming up next on KBPS. Alongside Morgan and Schuyler, I'm Sean Phillipson. Fourth quarter about to begin from Ida B. Wells. The Guardians are trailing Benson 34-25. Ladies, what did you see in the third quarter as we have a foul call on Benson LeSueur?
Well, I think you see just that. Benson is being super aggressive, tiring out Wells. Luckily, they're getting a little bailed out with these foul calls, but obviously coach is upset calling a timeout right away, trying to make some changes to their offense.
This will be a 30-second timeout. One of the officials is at the scores table to indicate who called the timeout. And it is Ida B. Wells that takes the 30. We'll keep it here. Schuyler, your thoughts?
I think in the third quarter, Benson really stepped up. We can see that by their now 9-point lead. But let's see if Benson can continue this offensive power and defensive power in the fourth quarter.
In the third quarter, ladies, Benson outscored Ida B. Wells 13-2.
Yeah, I think that just shows their aggressiveness. They've been trailing at times the majority of the game, but they're showing that they have the endurance to play this game physically all the way out.
Olivia Hink playing with 4 fouls in the game. Anna Brown with 3, LeSueur with 2, and Chandler Roberts with 1. Eve Hart looking to get it in and does to Reed. Reed passes out for Fowler. Fowler guarded by Kennebrew very tightly. 5 count is on and just got it away to Richmond. Richmond, 7:45 remaining in the game. Richmond, 5-second violation on Richmond. Turnover results, Benson ball.
Yeah, Benson really stepping up with this great defense.
Clock running, 7:40 to go in the game. Hashimi Inor brings it up, hands it off for Kenny Brew. Right wing Brown, a three-pointer, good! Anna Brown with 7 points for the Texters. And a 12-point lead for Benson, their largest of the ball game at 37-25. Off the hands of Hart. She lost the dribble and a turnover again on the Guardians.
Benson is really on a roll here, playing great defense and being great offensively as well.
Yeah, Wells is trying to get the foul calls on this tough man-to-man defense, but they aren't getting them right now.
Off the screen, LeSueur will pull it out. Over for Hashimi Inor. Hashimi Inor dumps into Chandler Roberts, kick it out. Three-pointer for Brown again, book it! Anna Brown making her presence felt tonight. She has 10 herself for the Texters and a 15-point lead for Benson at 40-25. Guardians are running out of time. They need some stops and they need some baskets right now on the offensive end. Reed lost the dribble, got it back left-handed. Reed lost the dribble again. Great defense by Lulu Kennebrew. Over for Hart. She is fouled underneath by Chandler Roberts, I believe. And it is Chandler Roberts on the foul, her second. And the 16th foul on Benson. One more foul on them, and that will put Ida B. Wells at the line for the bonus, as Autumn Hart will shoot two. She has 2 points tonight off the bench. The free throw is no good to the right of the rim. Eliza DiGiulio back on the floor for Ida B. Wells. For Mia Fowler, as she gets a rest. 6:29 remaining in the game. A good turnout tonight for the Ida B. Wells Guardians and Benson. Second free throw grounded in for Autumn Hart. She has 3. Lead trimmed down 40-26. Guardians playing a full court press, but Benson gets into the front court. Kennebrew off the pick, gives it for Brown. Brown on her way to the basket, no good, but she will shoot 2 at the line. That's the 15th foul on the Guardians.
Foul number 51, Autumn Hart, her first.
Autumn Hart on the foul, that will be her first. And 2 free throws coming up for Anna Brown. And Brown makes the first free throw. She has 11. 3 Texters tonight in double figures in scoring, led by Chandler Roberts with 16 points. Brown's second free throw is good. 42-26, Benson. They lead big in this one. A 16-point lead and a foul call in the backcourt on Chandler Roberts. That will be her third personal. DiGiulio re-enters the game for the Guardians. Eve Hart as well for the Ida B. Wells Guardians. We're at the 17th foul now on Benson. And Eliza DiGiulio will be at the line shooting 1 and 1.
Yeah, I think this might be the key for Wells to get back in this game, getting to the free throw line, getting some time to rest, and get away from this nasty Benson defense.
Slows the game down a little bit, but chip by chip, they can definitely into the deficit as DiGiulio makes the 2 free throws at the line. 42-28, Benson. They lead by 14. LeSueur on the right wing. Over for Brown. Brown passes for Hashimi Inor for Benson. They just need to continue to keep that clock in their possession. Three-pointer no good by Hashimi Inor. Rebound for Daphne Reed. Reed pushing it up, and the shot denied by LeSueur.
Again, great defense for Benson.
Entering the game for Benson will be Olivia Hinks, playing with 4 fouls as Lulu Kennebrew gets a high five from Eric Knox and Dexter LeSueur off the bench. Inbounds, getting in play. It is Hart. Pump fakes, goes over with the layup attempt, no good, but she is fouled by Hashimi Inor. 8th team foul, 2-shot foul coming up for Ida Wells.
Number 3, Moyana Hashimoto, her first 8th team foul.
8th team foul on Benson, a 2-shot foul for Eve Hart. And the free throw is through for her. Eve Hart now with 16 points tonight. Trims the deficit 42-29. The second free throw is good by Eve Hart. She now has 17 points tonight for Ida B. Wells, and it's 42-20, or 42-30. Benson lead. As you mentioned, ladies, they're chipping it at the line with the clock stopping in their favor a little bit. Hashimi Noor rolling to the right, passes for Hink. Over for LeSueur, left baseline. Dump it inside to Chandler Roberts with the height advantage, kicks it out. LeSueur, a block shot by Hart. Recovered by Chandler Roberts, stripped away and stolen by the Guardians, Richmond. Richmond brings it up the timeline. 5:04 to go in the game. A 12-point deficit for Ida B. Wells. Autumn Hart kicks it for Richmond. Richmond on the drive. Reverse layup, no good. Looking for a foul. Defensive rebound, Chandler Roberts. Up the floor, Brown. Will slow things down for Benson. Lost her dribble, got it back though. And Mariana Hashimi-Noor will hold it down for Benson. Clock running with 4:35 remaining in the game. Richmond onto the fence with Hashimi-Noor. Hink playing with 4 fouls. Over for LeSueur on the right wing. Hashimi-Noor with it. Benson using clock. Hashimi-Noor driving to the layup. No good. Rebound pulled down by the Guardians. Up the floor to Julio. Could not handle the pass. And a turnover on the Guardians. Benson ball.
Yeah, missed opportunity there by the Guardians to try and slow down this Benson powerhouse right now.
Down 12. There's still time to rally, but Wells needs some defensive stops in a hurry. Over and back violation is called on Hashimi-Noor. She reached for the ball going to get it near midcourt, and a costly turnover on Benson. And a timeout will be issued to Wells. They have 1 timeout of full left. We'll take it with them. 4:07 to go in the game. Benson 42, Ida B. Wells 30 on KBPS. 4:07 to go in the game. Benson leads Ida B. Wells 42-30. A 12-point lead. Benson has led as many as 16 tonight. Guardians led as many as 5. And the Guardians trying to get back in this game. They need some baskets. Trying to get it in. Ball tipped and stolen by Hashimi-Noor. Hashimi-Noor will slow things down for Benson now. Hashimi-Noor driving left side to the basket. Tripped out of bounds. It will remain Benson ball with 3:55 to play in regulation. It'll be Hink to inbound. Before that happens, Dana Savage on for the Guardians, making her first appearance. As the Julia will come out. Guardians playing a little bit more smaller. As Hink to inbound underneath the Benson basket. Going right to left. And does over to Hink. Hink gives it for Hashimi-Noor. Over for LeSueur, back to Hashimi-Noor. 3:45 remaining in the game. Wells have a foul to give. Bullet pass inside for Chandler Roberts, but couldn't handle it. And a turnover on Benson. Guardians ball. DeJulio runs back to the table to check back into the game for Savage. 3:39 remaining in the game. Inbounds for Reed, and she gets it. Reed into the front court. Well, Ida B. Wells down by 12. They need some baskets in a hurry right now. Richmond going left side to the basket. Lays it up, no good. No foul called. Rebound pulled down by Hashimi-Noor. And an interception by Reed. Reed over for Hart. A three-pointer is an air ball. Missed by Eve Hart. Rebound for Benson at the other end. Hink. That would have cut the gap to 9. Hashimi-Noor holding it up. 3 minutes to go in the game. Hashimi-Noor trapped by Reed. 1-on-1. Now over for LeSueur. Back to Hashimi Nor, and again to LeSueur on the right wing near midcourt. Foul called on Ida B. Wells. That's the 16th foul. That was their foul to give.
Fouls on number 51,
Autumn Hart on the foul. That'll be her second. And Savage back on the floor for DeJulio. Inbounds for Brown. Gets it in. Threw it a little too far, but recovered by Hink. Hink bringing up the timeline. Hink is fouled by Savage to take the foul. That will be her first. Team 7th of the game.
Number 4, Nina Savage, her first 7th team
And we're at the
foul.
17th foul, so it'll be 1-1 for Benson. DeJulio back on the floor for Ida B. Wells. And it'll be Hink at the line to shoot 1-1. This will be her first trip at the line tonight. And no points in her starting role tonight for Benson with 4 fouls. The free throw is no good. Rebound hustled down by Hashimi Nor. Offensive rebound, Benson. Hashimi Nor trapped pretty well by Hart. Hashimi Nor gets the pass back, lobs it inside for Chandler Roberts. No foul called. Brown is stripped, out of bounds. It will be Ida B. Wells' ball with 2:28 to go in the game. Inbounds for Hart, trying to get it in. A football pass caught by Richmond. She lays it up and in. Richmond with 8. It's a 10-point game, 42-32. Benson, a foul is called at the other end on the Guardians. Looks to be Eve Hart on the foul.
Foul number 30, Eve Hart.
And it is Eve Hart. That'll be her second.
8th
team foul on the Guardians, and at the line will be Hashimi Nor at the line to shoot 1-1. Hashimi Nor, no good on the free throw. Rebound DeJulio. Up the floor is Richmond. 2:14 remaining in the game. Richmond pulls it out for DeJulio. DeJulio looking for help and got it to Hart. Eve Hart looking for Richmond. She's got tightly covered by LeSueur. Denying her the ball. Reed looking for Richmond again. She's denied by LeSueur. Over for DeJulio between the rings. Lob it inside for Hart. Hart to the basket. Strong lays it in and a foul. Eve Hart with 19, a chance for a three-point play. The foul on Hashimi Nor. That will be her second. Team foul number 9. And Eve Hart at the line for a three-point possibility.
Benson just not even letting Richmond get a touch on the ball, so someone on Wells has to step up, and that's going to be Eve tonight.
And Eve Hart makes the three-point play. It's a 7-point ball game, 42-35 Benson. 1:45 remaining in the game. A steal by Autumn Hart. Hart will take it to the basket, lays it up and missed it, but she is fouled. Oh, that was so close for her to make the field goal.
Wells really stepping up here, making it a close game with only 1 minute and about 40 seconds left.
Yeah, if she made that and one, that would have been a real momentum shift for the Wells Guardians.
Timeout, Benson. A 30-second
30-second timeout, Benson. We will keep it here, ladies. My goodness, what a quarter for Ida B. Wells trying to get back in this game. They've outscored Benson 10-7 in the quarter. Your thoughts?
I thought Benson could have easily taken this game away and stretched the win even further, but just some silly fouls or missed opportunities and turnovers, and Wells is capitalizing on that and speeding them up.
Yeah, definitely. I think at the beginning of the quarter, Wells seemed really tired and Benson was really stepping up. But as the quarter went on and Wells was getting fouled, I think they stepped in with their free throws and has really slowed the game down, which has helped their points go up.
Quick game reset. Ida B. Wells and Benson have one full timeout remaining. Foul trouble, Pink, as the free throw is no good by Autumn Hart. Pink with 4 fouls, Hashimi Anor, Brown, and Chandler Roberts with 3 fouls each. For Benson, LeSueur with 2. That's all the fouls. 1 of 2 at the line for Autumn Hart is good. She has 4. It's a 6-point game, 42-36. Loose ball on the floor. Benson trying to get it. Both teams dive on the floor. Benson gets it. Coaching staff for Ida B. Wells wanted a 10-second violation. Out of bounds. Richmond poked it last. My goodness. Ida B. Wells with a defensive urgency late in the game.
Yeah, it looked like the ref was going to call a foul, but the whistle fell out of his mouth, so he couldn't do anything.
Hashimi Anor to inbound. Looking, and gets it into Chandler Roberts and pulls it back out. 1:20 remaining in the game. Ida B. Wells may need to think about fouling, and they do.
Foul number 30, Eve Hart.
Eve Hart on the foul. That is her 3rd, along with DeJulio with 3. DeJulio re-enters the game for Savage. It's been Savage and DeJulio subbing in and out for offense for defense and defense for offense. At the line, Chandler Roberts to shoot 1 and 1. 42-36 lead for Benson. The first of the 1 and 1 for Chandler Roberts is good. 1 more at the line for Mahogany Chandler Roberts. Roberts at the line to shoot 1 more. 1:20 to go in the game. It's 43-36 Benson. And she makes both of them.
Huge free throws for Benson and Chandler Roberts.
It's a 8-point game. 44-36 Benson. DeJulio brings it up the timeline. DeJulio hands it off for Hart. Hart nearly got the ball stripped and recovered by Richmond. Richmond gets the pass. Richmond is fouled by Mariana Hashimi Anor, and that is her 4th foul of the game.
Mariana Hashimi Anor, her 4th. Charlotte Richmond at the line, shooting 2.
And Richmond to shoot 2. Rare trip at the line tonight for Charlotte Richmond, one of their better foul shooters. The free throw is through. Richmond with 9, as Dana Savage back on the floor for DeJulio, saving those fouls for DeJulio, as I mentioned moments ago. She has 3, as Richmond makes a pair, cuts it back to a 6-point game at 44-38, and a foul immediately called on Savage, her 2nd foul of the game.
Dana Savage, her 2nd, 10th team foul.
And both teams are now in the double bonus as the 10th team foul on Ida B. Wells. Hashimi Anor at the line to shoot 2.
Anor at the line, shooting 2.
Hashimi Anor at the line to shoot 2. The free throw is good. DeJulio back in for Savage.
Liza DeJulio returns.
Hearing in the background, Anthony Leverts, if Benson makes the free throw, they will take a timeout. And she does. Timeout Wells. That is their final timeout. We'll take a break with 1:04 to go in the game. Ida B. Wells trailing Benson 46-38 on KBPS. Guardians ball, 1:04 to go in the game. Benson up 46-38. Hart looking to get it in and does for DeJulio. Closing in on a minute to go in regulation. DeJulio walks into a 3. Short. Defensive rebound. It's a jump ball. Possession arrow, though, to Benson.
Dana Savage returns.
Dana Savage back on the floor for Ida B. Wells. That jump ball definitely helped Benson out that time. Chandler Roberts gets the inbounds pass. Autumn Hart tries to foul. Double team shows now for Ida B. Wells. Guardians may need to think about fouling right now, as it's Hashimi Anor with it. Hashimi Anor dribbling the basketball around. Kicks it out for Brown. Does not elect to shoot the ball. Brown will kick it out for LeSueur. Back out to Hank. Hank over for Hashimi Anor. 29 seconds to go in the game. Hashimi Anor bump. and a foul. The ball went in through the basket. We'll see if they count this one. They should. The basket is good, yes.
Good possession of the ball by Benson. They didn't seem to panic.
The basket's good. Mariana Hashimoto at the line shooting
Richmond
one.
picks up her second foul on the blocking foul. Got contact. Hashimi Inor at the line for a three-point play. And left it short. Rebound. Tapped by Brown. Keeps the possession alive for Benson. 19 seconds to go in the game. A 10-point lead for Benson at 48-38. Hashimi Inor pulls the ball back out. Guarded by Reed. Guardians not electing to foul at this point in time. Benson is 5 seconds away from winning this match. Chandler Roberts will hold, and that's the game. The final score tonight from Ida B. Wells. Benson ends the 4-game winning streak for Ida B. Wells as they win it 48-38. Post-game show upon us right now with Morgan and Skylar. Ladies, what can you say about tonight's performance for Benson?
Well, it was a tight game at the beginning. Wells was up for the majority of the first half, but over time, Benson just kept pulling away bit by bit and slowing Wells down and making them make silly turnovers, just really pressuring the ball and screwing up their offense. And I think they just had more energy, more physicality with them tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I think the real game changer for Benson was the third quarter. They really stepped up offensively and defensively. They forced Wells to make a good amount of turnovers, and then when they had the ball, they made those good choices offensively, which led to a good lead for them.
Yeah, and luckily for Benson, Charlotte, Richmond didn't get too hot. I know she had a couple good looks, didn't get them to fall, but I know when she gets hot, she really gets hot, and she can pull from anywhere.
What about the Guardians? What could they learn from this game as they head into the winter break with a 4-1 record?
Well, I think there's a lot to learn from this game. Just keeping the right pace. Sometimes they got sped up by the tough defense by Benson, and just slowing it down, helping out Richmond, and relieving the pressure on her could definitely help them offensively.
Yeah, I think although they took the loss, I think one of the strong suits for Wells was they didn't seem to give up. I think even in the third quarter, although they seemed tired, they still found a way to bring it back and not let Benson take that huge lead and really close the game early.
Looking at the final numbers for tonight's game, 3 Texters went in double figures tonight, led by Mahogany Chandler Roberts with 18 points. Hashimi Inor with 14, Anna Brown with 12, and Malaya Lesueur with 4 for Benson. They led as many as 16 in tonight's game, as the buzzer sounds for an inadvertent reason. For the Wells Guardians, they led as many as 5 in the first half, led by Eve Hart's 20 points tonight. Charlotte Richmond follows it up with 10, 2 players in double figures for the Guardians, and DeGiulio and Hart contributing with 4 points each for Wells, the Ida B. Wells Guardians at that. Looking at the next game for Ida B. Wells, they will be at Nelson High School as they take on, making their first year in varsity play against the Nelson Hawks. And the Nelson Hawks are 1-2. For Benson, looking at their schedule coming up, Benson will be taking on West Salem in the Pacific Office Automation